years
I
now.
hope so. Well,
So let's do this again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clank.
To the movie we just watched.
Midsommar.
But prior, we got up to this far on the podcast a few moments ago without any sound, and we had a good idea that if we did a whole
Just
podcast...
actually recorded. I mean, there's probably, that clip is probably on Facebook.
It probably is. But if we did this, like, without any sound, and we just continue to have a conversation...
Without any sound.
Without any sound, and then
Without any sound. Oh yeah, timer.
And then you let the people, like, dub over us.
My
And we can just be two ladies that people just continuously meme us.
We've only been live for 45 seconds.
That's it?
It feels like an hour.
It feels like an hour.
It feels like we've been talking for
we've spent hours together.
I mean, we spent hours together. It's a rainy day.
It is a rainy day. So we got here at what time? I got here at
6:45-ish.
6:40. No, I got here earlier than that. I think I got here at like 2:30.
No. Oh wait. Yeah.
I got here at like 2:35, maybe 2:45 today. And we've been here for a while.
I'm in the wrong time zone.
That's okay. That's probably because the clock in your kitchen is wrong.
Oh, it is wrong.
It's 6:30 in there. The movie Midsommar that we
yes.
watched, there was a time gap in that happened. This is a spoiler alert, so if anybody...
We're going to talk about Midsommar while being slightly tipsy, and so maybe we should say, welcome to Unstructured.
And Unsupervised.
That's Nicole Narayan.
And that's Katrina Reese.
That's me.
It is.
Oh.
I'm so glad you know yourself. I'm still getting to know me.
This one does.
So we do this podcast together, and we are
on Thursdays.
Not structured at all, obviously unstructured and unsupervised.
Look at my ring.
Oh, this is lovely. Oh, okay. I was gonna hold your hand like a queen, but
I'm just like. Oh, there you go.
Look at this.
You know what?
Kiss
that
the
suits
ring.
you.
Thank you.
It does not look correct on me.
Why not?
It's like slightly too big.
I don't think it is. I think it's cool. Maybe.
This one came out of a candy machine. It looks more accurate.
It did?
It did.
It looks like it was made of glass.
It does.
George Glass. George Glass.
George Glass. Oh, speaking of glass.
Yes.
So this movie.
Oh, yes.
Was crazy. And so I'm
trying to correlate the glass and the movie.
Glasgow. Then they're kind of in the same area. And then glass, like, through the looking glass.
Oh, yeah.
And then glass, like, the magnifying glass when it's, like, all the, like, trippiness. Like, glass, like, shattering the glass ceiling, because
that's what they did.
Girl.
That movie was, I'm like, we just finished, well, Katrina had seen it already.
I saw it not that long ago for the first time. I don't like horror movies.
It wasn't a horror movie. It was more psychologically...
It was a horror movie.
You know what?
How is it not a horror movie?
I don't know. I guess my life has been a horror movie at times.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. I'm like,
well,
yeah, this is just a person having to go through some really
This is
fucked
just somebody's
up shit.
open skull?
This is someone's open... Literally, yeah. Did they break someone's skull open in the... Like, how symbolic is that? Like, it is... It's a skull broken open. And,
I didn't think about that one. I like that
I'm
one.
such a... Like, I think we're both very,
I love any kind of, like, symbolism or, like,
Yes.
stuff like that. Oh, I love that kind of stuff.
So the movie was
Turn up
intense.
the volume.
The movie was super intense. It had a lot of symbolism in it. It took you on a really anxiety-ridden ride of like stress and death and love and life and strength within oneself, perseverance in oneself, yet also being open to others helping you when you're in...
Wait, there's so many things.
There's like,
So,
it's everything.
I saw this movie and I was like, I don't like horror movies. You like horror movies.
I do.
I don't like seeing people, like, things happening to people. It, like, makes me freak out. So, I saw this movie and I was like, I love this movie so much because it does such a good job at, like, really taking the experience of somebody that's been through, like, severe trauma and, like, what it's like, kind of moving about the world
Right.
and
Having to, like, be
having to
normal.
like trying to be normal, and also like what happens with the people who interact with you, like when you do something thinking that you are making the right choice for somebody else, like, oh, you need me, you are someone that's like not going to be able to do stuff on their own, you know, I'm like doing such a sacrifice for you. It's like that was really good to see
Right.
because it's like
And
it's shitty.
I feel like a lot of relationships and friendships and partnerships,
Yes.
whether it's business, family, parents, boyfriend, girlfriend, siblings, there's a lot of resentments, I would say is a good word, that gets held in people.
Like, do you mean like learning how to like interact with people
Because they're,
from people who didn't know how to interact with people?
okay, I like what you're saying. Yes, because when you have not learned how to communicate, right, properly or healthy or in a way that is supportive to what's actually going on in your mind,
Yeah.
um,
And that
and
it's
then
for
have,
some reason there's something wrong with you.
right, there's something wrong with you
Yeah.
if you don't know how. Then take the
Which
concept
is
of,
terrible.
which is, but then take the concept of being aware of what you're going through, trying to go through it. What happened?
I'm not comfortable with how.
Do you want to sit on this side?
No, it's just this shirt.
What's
It's
wrong
just
with it?
not. It's not. It doesn't. Maybe it's.
Maybe you need to pop the collar.
Maybe.
Maybe you need to, like, pop this collar like a.
It's like it needs starch.
It does.
You know what I think it is?
Do you have a scarf of some sort?
Oh,
maybe?
do I have a
Do you have a
scarf?
scarf or something? Let's see.
But you were saying. I was listening. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I was saying how people sometimes. Now I'm just curious to see what scarf is putting on. I'm sorry, I'm distracted easily. Ooh, there's
The
two.
red pill? Oh,
Oh,
the,
the
blue, pill.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Well, you know, wear them both. Because that's really
That's
okay.
purple. My favorite.
Purple is the best. And what I was saying is having to try and communicate your feelings. Like, if you have somebody who doesn't know how to communicate,
Yes.
gorgeous. Look, it actually looks very good. You look sophisticated. You
I
look
just
you look-
always wear a houndstooth print scarf, like with,
What is
with
this called?
everything. Houndstooth print.
Houndstooth.
Looks like hound's teeth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's pashmina.
I don't know anything. I don't know the design of things and the fabrics and stuff like that. Should I
Me
read
neither.
one?
So, but this is the trick to know. This is the trick to getting people to think that you know anything about fashion.
Mhm.
Learn 3 patterns and mention them every so often.
Oh, okay. I mentioned the word Art Deco to my friend the other day, and she was like, "You know what that means?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Argyle.
Pretty cool.
Paisley.
Floral?
So,
I don't know.
talking about Midsummer.
Yeah, anyway, I was on a
Uh,
rant about that, and I didn't get the other part of the
I'm
point
sorry.
across. That's okay. Is that one person knows how to say something and the other one
Yes.
doesn't. So now if somebody does know how to say something and they do want to talk about it and they do want to try and come to some sort of solution with themselves and they're saying, hey, can I lay this on you? Because I'm going through this and I don't want to go through it alone right now. And that's a part of the movie where it was like some of these people, when there was pain that was happening, they all would like, if somebody was like doubled over in pain, it was like, everybody around them would start going,
would actually empathize
and like,
with it. And
right.
yeah, the scene where, no, we've already said spoilers, but spoilers, is like the scene where Danny sees her boyfriend like cheating on her, and then she like freaks out and like starts screaming, and she's like trying to get away, and she's like pushing people away, and they're chasing after her.
She's like, get away from me, get away from
like,
me.
And they're like all screaming, and she's screaming, and it's scaring her. And then like suddenly at the end, when she's like at her final like, oh my god, like this is a terrifying moment, and like realizing like they're not doing anything to her, they're doing the exact same thing that she's doing, and they're all suffering with her, and that she deserves to be held, and she like it's okay for her to feel like that, and she didn't deserve to feel like that, and it's just like actually like treating somebody's pain with like respect.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that is very, very, very unfamiliar territory. If you watch the movie, you'll see like it's far out. Like you have to have an open mind if you watch the movie. You have to really have an open mind. You can't go into
It's very hallucinogenic.
It is.
Things.
It's trippy. But that concept of the movie of
you have to be kind of smart to watch that.
You do have to be kind of smart to watch it. Thank God we are.
There's a lot of symbolism and like
ton of symbolism.
There's a lot of layers.
So many layers. But it was twisted and bizarre and fucked up and beautiful and
unique.
Like,
so cool.
Unique. And
every shot.
Everything about the movie was just done in
perfect.
It was a perfect depiction of the human mind and what it's capable of, what it can do, how people choose what their beliefs are and how deep into a belief somebody can be, and choosing to come into a different belief. Like the girl Danny, when she had started, like her beliefs changed, not even verbally, just physically. You could see the changes within her.
Yeah, as like getting more confident and like looking people in the eye and like not being afraid to like
she danced
show her emotions
and showed who she was in this setting of strangers that originally she was like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Ended up becoming like queen of these people.
Like you are the family.
You are the family. Like you're the queen. Like we don't operate without you now. You have the stamina. And they was like in this dance competition, which was kind of like musical chairs. They dance and then they say stop and then someone falls.
Oh, yeah. If you fall down, oh, by the way, you're on mushroom tea.
Yeah, you're on mushroom tea and you have to dance around in a circle.
Pole, like, to this same song.
Yeah, same song for like hours. And then whoever's the last
like imagine dancing for like 8 hours to the Hokey Pokey.
I would fucking win that.
You would definitely win.
I would win the Hokey Pokey dance. I would be out there like, I can do this. Hokey Pokey, put your left arm in, put your right arm. I did the opposite because I'm dyslexic, so
maybe
maybe went the right way here. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I would have won that dance competition. I would have been the queen of the May Queen. The May Queen.
The May Queen, the Queen.
You know, and then...
the April Queen, the June Queen.
I would have been the queen of all the months. And they would have lifted me on this chair around town. And
I want to be lifted up on a chair and standing on it and just, like, confidently, like ride through town. Right. Yes.
Like, but, you know...
This is my place. This is my family.
But even that in itself was a conditioning thing for her to unbreak of... She lost her family in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. Her real biological family had died. She goes to this weird commune in Sweden, ends up becoming the woman, like the
person that they like basically worship the year.
Right. And now she has to step into that position.
Like she has like responsibility.
And she has responsibility and decisions and things to make, which is also a perfect what's the word I'm looking for? Not symbolism, but a perfect metaphor for all of us trying to step into ourselves and step into our greatness and step into what we think our truth is, and whether that's being a queen, being held up on a pedestal.
I'm queen of the scarves.
You know, you are queen of the scarves.
This looks so like weirdly Cyndi Lauper.
It does. Love Cyndi Lauper. Girls do just want to have fun.
Yeah, see?
Beautiful. You're lovely.
I really liked that movie. And I really liked that, like, I also really liked that they took two different cultures. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, what's horrific to your culture versus what's horrific to our culture? And it's like, okay, I'm watching this. I'm American, and I'm watching it. And it's like, that's, like, very much a society that has very strict traditions and rules, and, like, you know, everybody shares everything, and, like, all that.
In Sweden.
In that cult.
Right.
Like, I don't know how it's...
Not here in America. Like, you were just saying, like, in America...
I'm just saying, like, for like, whatever that society was, Helsingrad or something.
Yeah, I don't remember how it was.
I'm, like, that's the complete opposite way that I live my life.
Right.
That, like, anyone we know lives their lives.
Well...
And then, like, they're saying... So then, I don't know if you remember at some points, like, they were saying, oh, isn't what you do horrific? Like, we put our elderly into nursing homes. Like, isn't that horrific? Versus
Right.
we let them, like,
live with dignity. They die with
live and then
dignity,
they... Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a suicide.
it is a suicide, but it's a suicide that allows them to create space amongst this community for new quote unquote blood, I guess they were saying. I'm not saying
They were like, they were saying they're, so for that society, it's like they're giving the gift of their life to an unborn baby.
Correct.
Like they were saying that? Something?
Yeah, so if they
Before
gave their
it
life,
goes-
then a new life will be...
Before it spoils.
Because
That's
before
what-
they get decayed and like old and can't walk or like can't do anything with
I mean,
themselves.
like, do you think that they wanted to, though?
Die? I think the woman did.
I think the woman did, for
I think
sure.
the woman was like...
She dove
She threw her arm up. She was like, yes, sunlight, sky, heaven, earth, mother, daughter, sister, brother, father, whoever up there. I am coming. I am giving myself up to you for the sake of the people, and I give myself with honor. The man...
And she was just like...
She face planted right into that rock. Boom, a skull
Oh,
fucking
God.
broke open. Her,
I couldn't...
Her brains were
I
out.
still have not fully seen that. I can't
It was
do
gross. It was gross.
I can't do it.
It was gross.
What?
I actually was in Florida in Daytona Beach, and I saw a girl fall off a
Oh,
motorcycle.
no. Oh, wait.
And smacked her head.
That's terrible.
It was awful. I've seen a lot of really
can't.
fucked up, gory
You
shit
have
in
seen
my
some
life.
really awful things.
I've seen some really awful things, and I don't know why. That's what I am. Somebody, I guess, because I can. I don't want to. I'm not putting this out there, God, that I can take it, because I really don't want to take any more of it. But I've seen enough gory shit in real life happen that it's like,
You're like looking at it.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, like that
It's
happened.
So like it's difficult to scare you. Like,
You know
is
what?
that why you like horror movies?
What scares me is like not being able to breathe.
Oh yeah,
Scares me.
that's scary.
Not being able to breathe scares me. I love life.
Oh, we didn't breathe.
Oh, we didn't breathe. Should we breathe right
We
now?
should.
We should do that. Okay.
Breathing is good.
Breathing is good.
Oh yay, in-person breathing.
Okay. So, well,
You alright?
yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I laugh a lot, but then humor is like my biggest defense mechanism about all this. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know if I fully processed all of my trauma with all of the things that I've seen.
Probably not.
Probably not.
If you're
So,
saying it like that, then no.
probably not. But you know, like it happened, and I don't know really what else can I do about it other than what I choose before we start breathing is I've seen all of that shit happen. I know I know what death looks like firsthand, and I've witnessed it. I've witnessed lives taken in front of me, and I don't want to live a life that I'm not completely full of my own life. Like that's what those things happen for me. So like it's a reminder of how quick things can go and how much I just want to like be here to have fun and not spend so much time thinking about how do I heal from this. It's like I heal from it by living my life and like living in my truth and my fullness and all of that. So with that being said, we're gonna breathe.
not preventing you from like choosing to do what you want to do.
Right. So that's where we're at. So we're going to bring our hands open. We're going to keep the palms up on the knees. We'll close the eyes and we'll inhale through the nose. And through the mouth, we're going to exhale, sighing it out. 2 more. Keeping the eyes closed, we're just going to allow the shoulders to sink. Let the hips sink into the earth beneath you, the chair, whatever you're sitting on. The focus is at the third eye. The breath is normal. Inhale deeply. Hold and suspend the breath. Exhale. Slowly coming back into the present moment. That's nice.
Needed that.
Yeah, me too.
especially after Midsommar. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like I get so, I mean, this happens actually for anything that I'm like, it makes me feel especially like, yes, I understand that, like, cause I live like that, and I get like very, very like amped up about it. So, and then it's like hard for me to relax, cause then it's like exciting to be like, almost kind of like, I don't feel bad about this. It's like, it's nice. It's like, ooh, yay.
It's relatable.
Yeah, relatable is important.
It is. It's super important. And it's like what makes living worth anything, because you want to be surrounded by people that you can relate to.
It just reminded me of the Love on the Spectrum, the guy like with the lamp.
Oh yeah, he's like, what did he say? Close his eyes, rubs his. She's like, this was like in Aladdin, and you rub it and you wish for it. Like, I wish somebody.
I wish that someone would. I wish to have a girlfriend that would have the same interests as me.
It was the cutest thing. It was like, oh.
It was adorable.
You know, and that's how.
Hopefully that'll work.
Too is like, I hope he does find somebody who has the same interests as in him.
Me too, cause it's like, oh, what a wonderful person.
I'm learning that my interests are not super relatable to a lot of people. I find that my interests are exhausting to most people, and every time I usually end up talking to a lot of people, they get overwhelmed with how much I have to say and how much I have to talk about and how far my mind goes into different things.
Yeah.
And it's like, you think too much. Oh, do I? I hadn't noticed, but I find it, like, I don't find it like I think too much. I find it like there's so many... I'm just thinking, and there's just so much stuff that's going on, and there's so much that I want to, like, talk about and express and, like, feel and have a human experience. Like, my if you look at the... Where's the corner here? Right there. Right there, it says Nicole Narayan presents your experience. Oh. Which is literally what I want to live here on this earth and do, is have a human experience.
Right?
Yeah. Hey. There's yours.
Okay.
Hey. Wait. You know, but it's like having fun and having a human experience with your friends, having it with yourself, having it with the earth, having it with the people that you want to love and who love you back.
Being present, like not thinking about, oh my gosh, that happened, or like, oh my gosh, that
right, but
sometimes
happen. People's present isn't very pleasant, and their present isn't pleasant. So,
oh, okay,
you know what I mean? And then it's like being present is still a negative experience because.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yes, but also. I guess that's, I don't know. Cause the reason why I'm like stumbling is because I think about like, oh, but isn't there some kind of strength in being present in like the shit and just being like, knowing that it's not like crushing you, like you're still there. Unless you're literally getting crushed, then it's like...
No, obviously that would be awful.
Hard. I would say if you're getting murdered, like, it's okay to not be present.
Right. I guess there definitely 100,000% is strength in that, for sure. Strength is a beautiful thing. Yeah,
but also it's kind of like, do I want that?
But you could be strong all you want. Strength, I mean, I have plenty of fucking strength in my heart. What I want is joy. Like, you know what I mean? I could be strong. I can be strong and because I could carry the weight doesn't mean that I want it to be heavy all the time. Like,
No.
I want to live in a present moment and make it from this point on in my life as joyful as I can because of how much strength I've already endured. Like, I've learned how much it is to be present in shit that, like, I'm learning now how to be present in shit while making it the best smelling shit I possibly can in that moment, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right? That's not always supportive to, it's like being supportive to yourself and being supportive to others. Like, trying to be the light in the midst of someone else's darkness. Sometimes you need to just sit there and not say anything. But how long do you sit there and not say anything for? Like, I don't know.
You're like, when do I get to talk again?
Like, how long, when do we get to, like, look towards the light? Like, when do we pull out the positive now? Like, okay, I'll sit and shit with you, no problem. But, like, when are we going to, like, be like...
Choose to just be like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is all people. It's like, there's days where I am in my own shit. Do I want somebody to be there with me while I'm in the shit? Or sometimes I'm like, no, don't be here because I don't want to make my shit your shit. So you go and do your thing on your own. I'll do it on my own. And your stuff is already heavy. My stuff is already heavy. Like, let's just... Because at the end of the day, like, you have to be able to handle your own shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to be the one to be able to get through your own shit.
You're the only one that's going to be with you definitely for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life is you. So this has been something I've been working on for a really long ass time, and it's like, okay, but then we're doing it alone and alone and alone. It's like, then what's the point of having relationships with people, with friends, with boyfriends?
Because everybody is all of one thing, like of one like universe of like. So if you respect yourself, you're going to respect everything else the same amount.
Around you. Correct. But if you're dealing with people who don't always respect themselves and you still respect yourself, you might come off as condescending or you might come off as rude or insensitive or not, I don't know what.
Like to them?
To that person because maybe they don't respect themselves.
Because they're not in there.
They're not in that space yet. I mean, so if that person's not in that space yet and you're in that space, you might make them feel worse by you being in your best.
But that's not your responsibility.
I know that, but I'm just saying this is just an experience that, like, a lot of people do experience. It's like, where does, like, you love people, and, perfect example is my mom with certain things. Like, there's been times where I've been afraid to tell her things because I was afraid that my joy and my happiness was going to upset her because she wasn't in a state to...
Because... I know what that's like.
Right, and of course you want to, like, tell your parents, like, what's going on, but anytime I did, it would be, like, made about her. And I might be guilty of that.
Or then it's, like, not good enough.
Or it's not good enough, but maybe, no, if that's how you felt.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, give me an example of a moment that could have potentially happened in your life where you didn't feel good enough.
Oh, so many. It's like, okay, you got a 99 on a test.
It's not 100.
It's not 100.
It's not 100, Katrina. Failure! You're a failure! Like, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I think a 99 is fucking amazing, and
It is!
I was happy with 68.
You know what else is amazing?
And 69.
Literally... any grade, because it's just a measurement. It's a measurement of, like, certain information.
Right.
People have different forms of intelligence.
100%.
And, like, the way that we, like, rate intelligence, and I'm saying this as somebody who studied what testing means and standardized testing, like my degree in psychology and statistics and, like, research, and it's like tests or any kind of measurement of things, there's always going to be flaws. And so if you have something of a unit of measurement and that's what you're using to compare other things to, something's wrong somewhere, and something is just not getting the... I mean, I just have, like, a lot of problems with it because it just is...
That doesn't measure who you are as a person.
It doesn't measure who you are as a person, but that's how society determines you.
Right. Through a standardized test.
yeah, let me put you in this system that you have to have this unit of measurement. You grow up. You are going to apply to places. What? Like, based on what information do you get jobs? What information do you get anything? Like, okay, you are somehow worth less as a person in the society because you didn't pass our standardized test.
No.
Like,
No.
that makes no sense to me. I think it's so rude.
You're being very rude
And-
right now. Your test, it's rude.
Like, I love standardized tests. I did very well at them. But that's the thing, it's like, I don't, like, I don't think that I'm better than other people. But when it comes to, like, intelligence, it's like, like, that's, and then I'm comparing I'm comparing, like, units of measurements.
Right, but there's not units of measurement because everybody's brain operates differently, and I feel like everyone's
Yeah.
their own personal
But that's,
genius.
I mean, like,
and it's like
that's, like, the thing that I struggle with, like, as a person, like, of, like, okay, no, everyone is equal to everyone else.
okay.
And but I judge people based on their intelligence. And,
But
like,
I disagree with that.
from my own point of view.
I don't think that people are equal. I think that word gets thrown around. I don't think people
Oh my
are equal.
gosh. Wait, what do you mean? Because I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I don't think people. The word equality is getting thrown around a lot right now, and I don't think that everybody should be treated equally. I think people should be treated exactly how they want to be treated for themselves. I think that people are so diverse, and I feel like people are so different, and people have so many different beautiful qualities about themselves, and that word is so embedded and like tightly like really like in the psyche right now. It's like a big word that's like pushed into everyone's minds at the forefront is equality, equality, equality. And I'm not disagreeing that people should be created equally, maybe in a work environment or in, racial standpoints and political stuff and whatnot, but like I respect so many people for the diversity of which they have.
Oh, yeah.
That it's like, I want to know more about why we're different. I want to be educated more about why we're so different from one another. What can I learn from you from being different from you?
I don't mean that people shouldn't. I mean, I agree with you on
right.
that. I mean, what I mean to say is in terms of worth as a person.
Correct, but how your self-worth might be completely different than the way I feel my self-worth.
Uh-huh.
So if we're treating each other equally with the way, say somebody comes at us with the same level of self-worth to both of us, but you don't measure it the same way I measure it, we're both going to have a different experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how is that equal?
Because just because you have a different experience doesn't mean that that anyone is less than anyone else.
I agree with that. Nobody is less than anybody else. However, I feel like it's very important to treat people and learn people as humans how they actually want to be cared for and treated. Because if I give you the same tender care that I would give another person that doesn't relate to that, it's not going to do anything for that person. They might still leave walking away feeling unworthy. It's like, well, where does your sense of worthiness come from? Where do you feel the most worthy within yourself? When I'm painting, when I'm making something, when I'm doing something. Okay, so let's shine the light on that part. For me, it's like when I've helped another person, when feel like I've made a difference in the world.
Gives you worth.
It gives me worth.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like necessarily something that worthiness comes from knowing that I've helped serve something else.
Okay, so I'm talking about like the worth of like being equal, like the worthiness to exist.
Right. So
we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So
anyway, we watched this movie Midsommar, right?
It's crazy.
This
blew our
movie
minds.
was so we're just like talking about The universe.
The universe. And the universe is so freaking vast and complex and beautiful and human. Like, that's the word, is human. Is like having a human experience is so, and that's what I mean, it's just so different from one human to the next. It's so different
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's like one human's experience is so different than the next person next to them's experience. We could both be looking at the same sunset, and there could be, mosquitoes out, and the person's going to be like, oh, the mosquitoes are the worst, and that would probably be me, being like, oh, they're the worst, but then I'll be like, oh my god, this
but then it's the
beautiful
other person
sunset.
going to be like, oh, mosquitoes, bite me.
No, I'm just saying that person might not even pay any mind to
Yeah,
it, and
right.
just be like, wow, this is
great.
This sunset is amazing, and like, this is the greatest thing in the world, and they're so enamored by what they're actually experiencing that the mosquitoes don't even become a problem. Like,
Right.
they don't even think about that. It's just an example.
Well,
But-
yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Right. So it's just like each person is always just in a constant state of their own mind, even if we are next to each other in the same time space and the same frequency and same thing, but like your experience is still going to be completely different than mine, even if we're doing the exact same thing.
That's great.
Yeah, it is great. But like, do more people want to know about each other's experiences?
That's the problem.
That's what I'm getting angry. That's where my anger and frustration comes about, because it's like, I so much want to know about what everybody is like. Well, how are you experiencing this right now? Like, what is this experience for you? Why is it bringing those things up? How are you feeling about it? What is it going to make you think about?
But not everybody like communicates like that.
Not a lot of people communicate. And when I do that, this is where I become overwhelming to people, or this is where it's like, why are you asking me so many questions? I'm like, because I fucking want to care.
I mean, like, are you ordering coffee? You gotta stop asking the baristas all these questions. You gotta stop asking them one.
I know, but I'm like, I feel like, does anybody ask each other these questions? So I would be the person to ask a barista, like, oh, why did you choose that shirt today? Like, what, did that make you feel good when, like, maybe it wasn't Starbucks because they wear a uniform, but like, if it was like some funky, cute little place, and it's like, why did you...
Yeah, and not Starbucks.
Yeah. Well, they usually wear a uniform.
No, it's just a funny sentence.
Oh, not Starbucks.
Not, some funky cool place and not Starbucks.
Starbucks isn't funky and cool.
I love Starbucks.
It's got good coffee.
I want to drink it.
It's just not. It's not like a little like mom and pop small business.
I'm not
owner.
like, you've never heard of this place. It's great. I'm not like that.
Starbucks.
Yeah. I'm gonna start saying that though to anyone. I'm like, oh my god, I know this place.
It's so good.
It's so good.
You gotta
I don't
go.
know if you heard of it. We're going.
We're going.
Trust me. Hi, can I get a double latte, a cappuccino, macchiato? I'm gonna.
We're at Starbucks.
5 pumps of caramel.
We're at Starbucks. Shh.
Don't tell her. Do you have puppuccinos? Can I have one?
2. 1 for me and 1 for this bitch. No.
She'll bark for you.
So
many other bad jokes.
Yeah, we're going on a tangent here. I don't know. I guess
it's just talking about the experience, though, of, like, wanting to communicate with people and people not really meeting you at that level of, like...
Right, but then people ask me what I want to do for fun, and I'm like,
This is fun.
That's my fun. And, like, when nobody wants to engage with it, like, I'm not having fun.
I have so many emotions!
So then I just end up talking to myself 99% of the time, and it's like I have all these personality
Wait,
types,
what did you say?
like,
99% of the time.
99% of the time. 99% of the time.
99%
I end up talking to myself. I was an only child, so I sat around and made up characters all the time because, like, I wanted people to talk to, so I made them up.
ADHD. I had an invisible friend.
What was its name?
Alice.
Alice? Was she through the looking glass?
She was through
Bringing it back. How do you do
the
this?
kitchen cupboard.
Oh, what
like
did she
this.
look like? Can you describe her to me?
She looked exactly like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm pretty sure I saw Alice in Wonderland. But wouldn't that be crazy, though? If you've never seen it. If I never saw Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I need to tell you a story.
Oh my god, if you've never seen it and
No,
then
wait.
you had her as
Yeah,
a...
and then...
Yeah.
Like, you're... Okay, this says must... But I wonder if this has ever happened to any child, and you know that they must have gone insane.
I need to know.
Where there's, like, a child.
Right.
Comes up with an imaginary friend. Doesn't tell anyone. Then, there's a fucking TV show with your imaginary friend in it. Right?
That would be
wild.
wild.
I would go insane. I'd be like, no, this is all made up. I made it up.
Right.
I would go crazy.
I feel like I might
I
snap
am
if that
crazy.
happened. I watched a lot
You
of
might
Pee-wee's
what?
Snap if that
Oh,
happened.
snap.
But I watched a lot of Pee-wee's Playhouse as a kid. So, like, all the
Okay.
furniture talked and everything was alive. Like, I have this thing now, like when I was
Do you
alone,
name your
like,
appliances?
I name everything.
I name my appliances.
Like, usually I'll be like, oh, hi, little friend. And I'll be like, hello, little bottle. I'll call it, like, what it is. Like, I'll still, like, I won't.
Wait a second. You call the things what they are?
Yeah, like
Pokemon?
little bottle. Like, hi, little bottle. I'll be like, okay, little mouse. Like, it's always little. I always say it little. It's like, hi, little friend, or like, hi, little
Really?
thing. Yeah. Oh, but my car's name is Betty White, so.
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, I give everything a face. I see faces in everything all the time.
Yeah.
If I have an Instagram account called Inanimate Faces where I take pictures of
I didn't know
inanimate faces. Yeah, it's pretty
I
much
have a
for
friend
me.
who do that too.
My boyfriend is my only follower, and my other friend Marianne and her dog follow me, and yeah, and that's it. But they like it. I really just kind of do it for me.
I actually know someone that would love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're always posting stuff on Facebook.
Yeah. I love this. I would share them with me because I would like to know what they see too. Because like everything's alive, energy is everywhere, and like we as the people, am I talking crazy?
No. I'm like playing.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, are we? Because like we give life to things. Like our love and our presence and our joy and our minds are what bring things to life. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. At least that's how I feel.
Soul meets body. No, I like that.
So tell me more about Alice.
Oh yeah.
How long did she last for?
I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, I feel like I would have like dreams. It was like a recurring dream that would happen too.
Hmm.
I have a bunch of. I haven't had like a recurring dream in a long time, but I've had some weird dreams. Oh wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, story. So did I ever tell you the story?
I don't know.
Where, I was in 8th grade,
Okay.
right? And my history teacher's name was Mr. Casey.
Okay.
And I went to this like Catholic school. It was like kindergarten all the way there through 8th grade, and Mr. Casey was my 8th grade history teacher. I think 7th grade maybe. So, math maybe no history. So, one day Mr. Casey tells a story that Mrs. Casey, who was the principal of the school, like told him a story once, because in class he was talking about, oh, kids always say the craziest things. And Mrs. Casey was the principal of the school, and like if they couldn't find a sub, because it was like this little Catholic school, then she would be the substitute teacher for the day. So there was like 2 classes of like 20 to 25 children. So he said, yeah, Mrs. Casey, she once was being a substitute teacher for a 2nd grade class. And the do now on the board was write about something that you love. And the do now is just like, okay, everyone work quietly and write an essay, whatever. And so this little girl rose her hand and she was like, I need help spelling something. And Mrs. Casey was like, okay, come up to the front of the room, like everyone's working quietly. So she like goes up. And Mrs. Casey's like, okay, what do you need help with? And she's like,
You did tell me the story, but I love. Yeah, I want to know. I have you have to tell me the rest now. But.
Mrs. Casey, how do you spell sex? And Mrs. Casey was like, S-E-X. Why? And the little girl was like, S-E-X-Y. And Mrs. Casey's like, no, it's S-E-X. Why are you asking me how to spell that word? And the little girl's like, well, it says write about something that you love. And do now. And Mrs. Casey's like, what? And the little girl's like, I mean, I know how to spell in, and I don't know how to spell sex, and I'm writing about butterflies. I know how to spell insects.
Oh.
And Mrs. Casey laughed and laughed. And she was like, wait. I'm so sorry. I spelled that word wrong. It's S-E-C-T-S. And the little girl was like, It's not sex? No, it's not. It's spelled like that. It's Insects. Okay?
Insects.
Insects. Okay. Sometimes Mrs. Casey makes mistakes. Okay. She, like, goes back to her seat, and then Mrs. Casey just laughed and laughed and laughed. And so, like, I heard that story in 8th grade, and it was, like, so funny to me. Right? And I just never forgot that story. And then, so, a few years ago, I was at my parents' house, and I was cleaning out, like, the house was being sold. So my mom was like, go through, make sure, like, everything's cleared out that you want, and we're getting rid of everything else. So I'm looking through these boxes because she kept, like, everything, and I found, like, all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at, this is from, like, 4th grade. This is from, like, 3rd grade. Well, oh my gosh, this is an essay that I wrote in 2nd grade. I like butterflies. Butterflies are insects. And then I remembered, that was me.
It was me.
That was me. 2nd grade me was the girl that my 8th grade teacher was talking about, and I didn't remember any of it.
Oh my god.
Until I saw the paper in my hand, saw that the, like, insects, like,
yeah,
it was erased,
so
and
you
then
didn't find
rewritten
out
over
about it
it.
until, like, much later.
It took me 25 years.
That's
to
hilarious.
get the joke.
That's
And
so funny.
and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's why whenever I was walking around that school, like, Mrs. Casey would be like, hi. Like, she loved me. She was like, I never
And
had
you
a
had
problem with
no
Mrs. Casey.
idea.
Yeah, because I made her
had no
laugh.
clue.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
And I remembered, like, just watching her laugh. I remembered, like, what it was, like, how it felt, because I had the paper in my hand, like, standing, it's, like, weird reminders, like, standing in front of her and asking her, and, like, feeling weird that she was like, why are you asking me this?
And you're like,
And I was like,
I like bugs.
I like butterflies. And I remember she laughed for the rest of the day.
That's
and
funny.
I was like,
I wonder how many people she told that story to. Like,
she
like,
must
you
have told
to
everybody.
Yeah. Like, your story must live in infamy.
I mean, it had already lasted 6 years. I was 2nd grade. I heard it as an 8th grader.
That's so funny.
And then I continued to remember this story.
That's really funny.
And so I have ADHD.
Yeah.
And it's very apparent.
It's very apparent now. I don't have that kind of a story from school. Not one as cute as that. That's adorable.
You don't have any cute stories in?
No.
I don't even know how I got to that story.
I think you were talking about imaginary friends, and we talked about
yeah. ADHD, and then I got there.
I had to do the vowels in front of a school class. That's when I was in Catholic school.
Oh, A-E-I-O-U.
Yeah, they had to point you out in front of this class, and you get the stick, and you got to point above. Back in the day, kids, we had a school, like a yardstick that we had to point to above the blackboard that had A, B, C, D, E, F, D, all the way across, right? Mm-hmm. So she goes, Nicole, go up there and go show them where the vowels are. So I'm like, oh, God, don't call me. Okay. So I'm up there, I'm like, A.
Aw.
E.
This is a bit.
I start sweating. I'm like, A, E, I know that nobody's saying anything's noted. I'm sweating right now even thinking about this story. It gives me such anxiety. I was in kindergarten. I was in first grade. Miss Mulholland's class.
Oh my God.
And I'm up there, which felt like fucking eternity, and I'm like, my arms are literally sweating right now telling this story.
The hardest presentation of your life.
Yeah.
First grader.
First grade. The vowels. And I'm like, A, E, standing up there, sweating, and I'm up there, and I don't know where I is. I don't know where I is. I think I'm still trying to figure out where I am, and I don't know where it is, but I'm up there, and she's getting mad at me. She's like, do you know it? And I'm like, A, E. I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know. And she's like, okay, Nicole, just sit
You're
down.
like, She's like, You're like, oh, yes, yes.
Yes, okay,
Closer.
Right. And now she says, Nicole, just go sit down. Just go sit down. And she gets this woman that comes up. She goes, I'm going to call up this other woman.
Wait, this other woman.
This is the first grader. And goes, okay, Erin, you go up there and please show Nicole the proper way of pointing out the vowels. And she goes up there and she's like, A, E, I, O. And looks at me and goes, and sometimes Y. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know how to fucking spell and shit. Like, I'm dyslexic.
Wait, insult her now.
She's like, I can't, because she's like really like did well for herself.
Oh no.
She like did well.
No. As a first grader.
As a first grader?
A-E-I-O-U. Whoa, wow.
To like insult Erin, you mean? I'm still nervous.
Exactly. I'm sweating. I'm saying that this would be like, it's just an opportunity for a very good joke.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm like A-E-I-O and you sometimes Y. Like, why are you so smart, Erin, making me feel like this? Go away. I don't know. That's not good. That's how I felt, though, so that would be the truth.
Why are you like this?
Why are you like this? Why are you like this? Anyway,
I was like, A-E-I-O.
Hey, I'm Italian. That's funny. That's a funny joke.
You know what else you need vowels for? Birthday card invitations.
And you're not getting one.
You
and you know why? I'll tell you why.
Sound it out.
Amazing. This is a great bit. I gotta write this down. Thank you. Collaborations, love it. Yeah, so I got really bad anxiety from that for a while, and now I've turned it into, like, I overcame that fear as a young age, and I was like, nah, like, I'm gonna be in front of people. Like, I think that's where my comedy, like, confidence came from, is, like, to get in front of people and speak, and, like, know what I'm doing a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's,
I feel like that about singing.
Yeah.
And when I started doing stand-up, it was like, oh, I wanted to do parody songs, and then it was just kind of like, oh, so, well, I guess I'll do jokes. I don't want to talk about myself. Like, I'm not talking about myself. What? Do you remember? You remember.
When?
When I started, like,
when you first started?
7 years.
Well, I started comedy, well, I guess it was around the same time. Yeah. We weren't very close, though, when I started. Like, we met later.
Did you start after me? I started, like, 8 years ago, and then I would, like, take a break, and then I'd be like, and
yeah,
whatever.
No, I started after you.
And then that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm definitely not the same for my act.
That's a good thing. It means you grew as a person.
Yes.
Yes. Did
you just burp and have pork bun taste?
Sorry.
Because I did. Oh my god!
I might have.
We had, I never explained why my hair was all wet, and now it's dried in, like, a fun way. But
you should stand out in the rain more often. It looks great.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
I was running in the rain to pick up my friend from the airport because it's freaking crazy. Actually, my roommate. I think my roommate's back.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, we've got 6 minutes.
Oh, okay, good.
Did we want to? Okay, wait. So, Midsommar. I feel like we didn't come to a conclusion.
We didn't come to a conclusion.
We didn't, but I don't think that there is a conclusion.
There
really.
isn't.
It's just like, nope, that's exactly how it feels.
It means that, like, no matter what, things are going to happen around you. You have no control over anything, and all you could do is try your best to just, like, dance sometimes through it and not kill yourself until you're 76.
I mean, you have control over your own perception.
You do. But now it's like you have control over your own perception all the time, right? And then you bring other people into it.
Right.
And then their perceptions
is different.
But you're now experiencing... And it's now you're constantly in a state of experience.
Yes.
You're in a constant state of experience. That's why life is so hard, and I think that's why people feel so misunderstood and feel so disheartened and feel so depression, anxiety, mental disorders. It's all hidden.
Not seen.
It's not seen, and I feel like it comes with a massive amount of love behind it as well. I think it comes with a lot of love, and it comes with not a lot of space to be held in it, and I feel like it comes with having to navigate through constant variables and constant changes and constant flow of motion, and that's what emotion is. It's energy and emotion, and you have that, and you're moving through it, and it's constantly going to be different. So you're to be expected to have to be even keeled all the time through every single thing that happens in your life is impossible, and it's the greatest lie that they've ever told you that you're supposed to be. So
it's okay to have
emotions. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to feel fucked up. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be sad. Yeah. It's okay to fluctuate. Because you're living fully. If you're not, I experience things from very high highs, and I experience them from very low lows, and I experience them from in between. It depends on where I'm at and what I'm being presented with and what I'm experiencing in that moment. And because I'm very tapped into all of this, I experience it all at the same time. So it's a lot of fluctuating through all of those and navigating. And then trying to explain that to people.
I mean, you can't. People just have to experience it themselves. And then they'll understand.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
I know.
But it does...
It's defeating because it's lonely sometimes when you want to talk about these things, and it's like you're not always
able to do that.
Or
met with the like understanding.
Same level of understanding, excitement, intensity, like. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like, oh, I'm so accepting of others, but others are not as accepting towards me, like that kind of feeling?
Yes.
That's sad.
Yeah. Sometimes I always feel like people are constantly trying to change me and mold me because they think that I need help, and I don't.
Well, that's stupid.
I know, and I'm like, I don't need help. I'm really actually a very happy person, and I'm full of joy and love, and I have so much of it to give that, like, I just want to, others to experience all that life has to offer.
You get mad when other people aren't, like, being happy.
Yeah, that's what makes me mad. I get mad when people aren't happy. Yeah. It makes me, like, breaks my heart. I'm like, there's so much life on this planet. Yeah. There's so much life to live, and it's like there's so much beauty to experience and so much love to be felt, and it's like every day that goes by that, like, you choose not to do that is just like, oh,
for a moment.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, that's their experience too.
I know.
You know, so it's like they kind of have to go through it to also understand too,
right.
Because unless you have, I mean, like I like to think of it like, oh, it's like the sky or like the night sky, right? It's like dark, and there's like these little pinpoints of like light, and it's like if you didn't have the darkness, like you wouldn't even know about them.
Of course.
So.
Of course.
It's almost kind of like, oh, you need that, but it is frustrating watching somebody suffer. And knowing, like...
You do need the darkness.
That's yours.
You need balance between both.
Yeah.
You need balance between both the light and the dark, and to feel them both. And I feel them both simultaneously all the time. That's why I'm like... I'm a melancholy kind of person at times, but I'm more... Like, my heart inside is melancholy, but I try to bring more joy than I do sadness. But sometimes I bring more sadness because it's like, in that moment, I'm experiencing the sadness. But I'm like, okay, that was really shitty. I don't feel like that was good, but moving forward, what can we do? Like, okay, this was a really good thing to look at. So that was our time.
Our time is coming to a close, and it's...
I'm eating a potato chip now.
Oh, is this ASMR time?
Yeah. That's gross. Don't do that, Nicole. Are we done?
We have 20 seconds.
This is why I eat a lot, because then my mouth is full, and then I just shut the fuck up. Just eat.
I like ending
Even
this.
my mouth is full, I still have to do something. I'm like, I gotta hum it out.
This has been Unstructured and Unsupervised. Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Or wherever. Night.
Evening.
I
Wherever you